All right, well, there she is, completed. All right, so here's my old pool pump set up. Uh, Something new here. I just bought this little shed, little cheap shed online. Uh, to cover it up, basically to keep it out of the sun and keep pipes from freezing in the winter and so forth. But as you can tell, the old base, I got gloves on because I'm fixing to do PVC glue. But the old base, ain't near big enough for this shed. And I also watch my other videos. I got a mess out here because I've tore the fence down I had around here, and I had my privacy, my privacy fence, but I had my solar panels on the fence up there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take that shed here, and I got a new foundation started over here. Just use 4x6 boards. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in and pack that dirt down, tamp it down. Then I'm gonna pour a cement slab inside that form, but I'm gonna leave the form there. So that'll be what the shed sits on, is that wooden part. And I have a little cement area on the inside. And I'll set my filter. I'm gonna configure out how to do all my filter and pump setup inside of this. And got that hole right there. That's gonna have my wires running out to my solar panels, which is, you can see from my other video how I did my little solar array out there. But what I'm doing right now is got 3 PVC pipes in here. I had to dig all this. That's a drainage, storm drainage. Had to go under that. Had to go under the little water lines. As you can see out there, that is actually hard PVC pipe that runs to my pump. You can see them sticking out of the ground over there. So basically they run under the ground, comes in right here. That's actually the discharge that goes out. And then that one is a suction, that side. Then I over here got the suction off of that one that runs over there to the pump. So what I gotta do is come right there, tie in, going this way into one of these, take that suction, which I'll probably come over here and tie in over here. The suction is up under that pipe. I'll just come over here, 90 into that one, and then my discharge, I'll come over here and 90 into that. And I'll have all this excess pipe right here. I'll figure out what to do with all that, but then we're gonna have them come in and some way or another come in over here. So get further along, I'll let you guys know. All right, so I've got them 2 cut off there. I gotta clean all that up. As you can see, I got a mess out here where I've dug up that trench there. That was to my discharge line off my filter, and obviously all this down in here. So one off my skimmer basket comes down right there. I'm gonna try to turn that, just 90 it back that way. So we'll have that one there 90, and then catch one of these, and then over here we'll come over here and cut 2 of these and 90 them over there to them 2. But the trick is, you can see I've already kind of started rough fitting it together. Get them to go up under here. I may have to widen my little hole. As you can see, I set my shed on my block because I'm trying to fit everything, and I want to make sure it's going to fit. I don't want to assume that this shed's going to sit over everything and fit perfect, but it's sitting in place where it's going to go. I know that when I get my pipe set up and glued together, I can pull all this back out and then put my cement slab, and it's all gonna fit. which, I mean, these right here, basically the biggest thing is just getting a rough end over here of where all my stuff's gonna come out, and I get a general idea of how I want to do the layout in here. But I ain't gonna do none of this obviously until the slab's set. You know, everything inside the shed, other than just your small stub outs coming up. So that's what we got right now. All right, this is what we got now. Just a rough end. Got my electrical line here stubbed out for my 110 power. That's where my DC power for my solar panels that I'm gonna run through there. You can see that's the power line that runs out over there, and over here we got these 3 pipes. You're gonna have 1 discharge and 2 suctions. The 2 outside are the suction, the one in the middle is gonna be the discharge. You follow them on over here. 2 goes over there. Got them connected up. Bottom one's the suction, which is this outside one. Move, dog. Which is that outside one. Discharge is the center one. And then this one runs over here. Way over there. Up to my skimmer. So I'm fixing to cover all this up with dirt. Or I may just leave it out until I get my pumps on and make sure there ain't no leaks or nothing crazy going on. But with all this put up, I'm gonna pack this down a little bit more. I've been packing it down pretty good, but I'm gonna start laying some cement. All right, so I didn't get any good videos of me pouring the cement slab because I kind of did that on the fly one evening after work. But what we got here, as you can see, I already did all my plumbing, and of course I didn't video none of that like I was planning to do. The main reason is because ended up having to work more than what I anticipated, and I'll just come out here in a little bit in the evening times and had just a few minutes of daylight in the evening times, and was literally do like 10 minutes a day, if that. And video didn't really record well in the dim dark light, which, I mean, I could have come out here and hung a light up and all that good stuff, but anyway, so here's what we ended up doing. And as you can see, got my solar pump going back there. I'll try to talk over that. But so that was the 2 suction pipes, and my gluing and priming and stuff is a mess. I mean, I'm no professional plumber, but anyway, that was the 2 suction pipes on the outside, discharge pipe on the inside. So let's go back to here. I got these 2 valves here, where this one goes to the skimmer over there, and that one comes from the other pipe over there off the suction. So, and you can actually throttle these, you know, if I want to pull more from the suction side or from the skimmer side, or, you know, vice versa. But anyway, they come here, join together. It's pretty even flow. If you go over there and stick your hand, you got suction out of that side and out of your skimmer. So it comes right here. We got our little T here to where it goes to my 110 pump. I did end up buying a new 110 pump. The other one in the middle of all this, which that was an older pump, I've had that pump, I don't know, 5+ years, somewhere between 5 to 10 years. But anyway, all the seals and stuff was going out on it, and ended up just buying a new pump. But anyway, the T comes here. So if you notice here at the pump, you got a union and a valve. Up here with the discharge, that's my check valve. Got a union and a valve. Reason being like that, so I'm running that pump right now. Something happened here, I want to clean the strainer out while that pump's running, whatever. Boom, valve it out, no change in flow. You look over there, it's still pumping. If something happens to this pump, we want to pull it out, put a new gasket in here, or whatever reason we want to change this pump out. You know, undo the union, nothing wrong, everything's fine. Same thing with that pump over there. If I want to work on that pump, just say I want to rewire the split or whatever, if I want to pull that pump completely out of here, you can valve that out, which I'm not going to now because that pump's running. Valve out there, got a union there, and a union here. And of course you got check valves on here, so I can leave these valves open all the time. So now your water's going through this T, through here, coming up through that check, coming around here. If it backflows this way, it hits this check here. Can't go no further. Can't backflow. So it stops there. Water's forced into the filter housing. Comes out of the filter housing right there. You got valves on both of them with unions, so you can valve it out. If we need to change this head out or whatever, simple valve out or valve out whatever, undo your unions, change your head out. You ain't having to cut pipe and re-glue pipe. Comes through here, got a valve here. I actually want to thought about putting another union somewhere in here, but I don't really see the need because you got one here. Anyway, it goes out, goes back over there through your discharges over there. But you can see right there, so I run off my solar panels. My DC wire comes up to this conduit. I was going to finish this out, do like a little flex conduit. I actually had plans, jumping ahead here, I had plans of mounting this box directly on this wall here. End up doing the side over here just for ease of mounting a board to mount it to. And the reason being, I'll show you. So what I did to mount these boards is I come in here from the inside and I drilled a hole directly to the outside, so the screw was sticking out of the outside. Did that on 2 spots. And then what I did there, so the board's flush up against the side. So after that, so you had just say you had a screw sticking out right there where that port is. I come in here and screwed 2 more in on this side, so that holds the board up. Then I went back on the other side and removed these screws back out, and then went back in with a larger self-tap screw on this side. With, of course, they all got washers and grommets, so that way when you're by yourself, you don't have someone to hold the backside while you're screwing. Just a way to do that. So with that being said, if you notice here, kind of hard to get in there to screw something in between this fence. So I ended up putting it on this wall here just because it was easier to get to. So I may end up running a little flex conduit right there. You remember I had my 110 stubbed out here. I just wired in my little outlet there. Anyway, it runs up through my switch up here. So basically power runs through that switch, up to this switch, back down to the outlet. So I'm actually, when you flip the switch, you're actually just turning power to this outlet on. This whole thing is GFI protected. But yeah, so that makes that a little ease of use there. The only thing I did not do, that I didn't pre-plan for, before I get into that, I don't know if you see that little stuff right there. I got to hook my grounding wire up for my motor here, and I'm actually going to ground that motor too. But we'll do that here in a little bit. If you notice here, the backwash hose, I wanted to have the backwash hose go through the slab and into the drain. I don't know if you remember the drain that was right here, but I was going to tie it into that to where it would drain out. But in the middle of all my rushing and doing things, and didn't plan that out, and I poured the slab before I thought about it. But that's what we got. So what I'm gonna end up doing, I'm probably just gonna end up doing a through wall fitting off that hose. And I'm actually, with this being out of the sun now, I'll probably go back and put a clean hose on here, because that hose right there has just been sun bleached and it turns it yellow looking. But with a clear hose, you'll be able to see you know, when the water's dirty or clear whenever you're backwashing. But I'll probably just come out here with a through wall fitting, and you can actually see where the drain hose is right here, where the dirt's been removed. But I'll probably just come out of here with a through wall fitting, and maybe run it down and tap into this with a T or something, or maybe do a, I don't know, I'll figure something out right here to do that. But the whole idea was to have all your hoses and stuff sealed up, but too late for that now. You can tell too, we've had some below normal temperatures. It's been freezing. Got some water drainage that's iced up around here. I got all the ground covered up, all my pipes covered up. But yeah, that's what we got for now. I'm gonna come up with some way to do that. That was another thing too. I was kind of rushing to beat these freezing weather because I don't know if you know or not. You know, here in South Alabama we don't get a whole lot of freezing weather, but that's just flex hose that's covered up. Same thing with those over there off that harbor. And if you off that PVC, and if you leave that just stagnant, even though the pool it'd take crazy below freezing temperatures for several days to freeze up the pool, obviously. But them little hoses that's sticking out over there by themselves, you know, that would freeze pretty quick if it was just stagnant water. So I wanted to get this piped in quickly. That way I can keep water circulating to prevent it from freezing. So this dog, she loves to drink pool water. Crazy dog. But anyway, that's what we got. I wish I'd have had a little more, would have filmed a lot more of this, but didn't really get to, and it's done now. But let's show you this here. We're just gonna cut that power off, and just so y'all can see how that works. And you simply flip your 110 power on and back to that. And that's basically water's coming out of here, going over there, stopping. It's forced this way through the discharge, but that's that. But we don't need to give power company any more money than we need to. So I'm gonna flip that back on. Takes a few seconds for it to come back on. Of course, while you're staring at it, it takes forever. Alright, well, we'll come back to that. But anyway, that's going to kick back on here in a second. Come back up through here and back out. So, alright, well, until the next video, y'all guys have a good one. Hopefully we'll make some more content here very shortly.